Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another first impressions video. In today's first impressions video, we are looking at my Smith Model 28 No Dash Highway Patrolman. There are no freaking sponsors to this channel right now. How you can help me out is simply by hitting that subscribe button and commenting down below. That gives me a lot of motivation to keep doing this. Also, I have my B channel, which is called FF Lifestyle. I got a lot of different content over there. It ranges from fitness-related content, adventure, travel vlogs, hiking, vehicle reviews, mountain biking, all sorts of boarding sports. It's just really a flavor of everything over there, but it's not firearms related content. So if you want to diversify your subscription feed, check it out. Help me get to 1,000 subs on that B channel. A card is up in the right-hand corner of your screen. I really appreciate it. Can we just stop and take a moment here, okay, and think about the past few videos that have been on my channel, ranging from a Thompson, a super safety for an MP5, a SIG M11, an LMT 308, and now an incredible wheel gun from back in the day. I just wanted to say that because this is what you get with my channel. There is no direction. It could be anything, and the reason for that is because I put out, as I've said so many times before, just things that I love and want to pick up. Man, it's a buyer's market. Holy hell, it is insane if you are looking to purchase a firearm these days. And as I've said in a few of these videos, it is about the worst time ever again to be selling guns these days. We are just head first into another slump in this industry. And again, I would not want to be selling firearms right now. I was working at the gun shop that I work at part-time, and at this point, working part-time at a shop is essentially just draining more money out of the bank account, but that is okay. I get to bring cool guns to you guys today. So the Smith Model 28 Highway Patrolman has been around for a very long time. This one in particular is an N-frame Smith in 357 Magnum. Now, it did not come with these rather ugly Pachmayr grips. These grips I threw on because I do plan to shoot this freaking thing as I did at the range, and it had pretty much immaculate original Smith & Wesson N-frame grips. Now, the individual that sold this in to the shop had on just kind of your traditional target grips with the left-hand side really just beefed out. Love seeing something like that on a revolver because usually the factory grips are in immaculate condition, as these were. These suckers are not super comfortable to shoot with, especially to shoot a lot of ammunition through. I was searching online for a bunch of different options for this thing, and unfortunately, the square butt N-frame style revolver from Smith & Wesson, being a little older, you have a hard time finding some cool combat grips. There are a bunch of different, maybe target grips, vintage Smith & Wesson grips, and there are a few combat variations of vintage grips, but there's really not as much out there as you might think. These Pachmayr grips on distribution were like 28 bucks, so I figured I would give it a shot with these. I'm pretty familiar with them from other revolvers, and they're okay. The reason why I have so much goon tape over these right now is because, as you'll notice, there's quite the split down the middle. These are just rubber grips, and the rubber was pretty loosely cut on the inside, and it left quite a bit to be desired with fit and finish around the grips. But I threw a little bit of essentially hockey tape around here, and that was able to kind of clamp it shut a bit more. Without this tape, it was like a gaping hole up in the front, and that would have been quite uncomfortable to shoot with a 357 Magnum. They worked out actually great at the range. I didn't have any complaints. They were, again, for me, 30 bucks, And you know what? It is what it is. It does not look anywhere near as incredible as the factory grips did, but now I get to keep these nice and unscathed off to the side. The Revolver did come with this Buckheimer holster, which is in also great shape. And I have heard really good things about these holsters. The Revolver sits into it perfectly, as you can see here. It is a little bit of an older style of holster, kind of more on the quick draw side of things, where originally you were able to kind of quick draw with your finger on that trigger, and of course your hammer impeded there. So even if I were to begin to pull the trigger, it is not going to let the hammer come to the rear. So I can unlatch that holster, take it out with my finger on there, ready to go. Obviously, a bit of a different doctrine compared to what we are used to in today's world. But this is a very old Smith. We are working with a No Dash Model 28, and it's great for being able to whip this cylinder and whip it shut. I am just kidding. My butthole clenched as I even just said that right now. Please don't do that on older revolvers. The timing on this revolver is excellent. It is unbelievably tight for a Smith from the, what I am assuming, 60s. That's my assumption here. 60s, 70s is probably around where this pistol is. We got a little bit of movement in the cylinder, but not much. The single action on this revolver is unbelievable. I mean, I don't have a trigger gauge here, but it is probably around the maybe 2 pound mark. It is unbelievable. And then also, of course, the double action as well is, oh man, this double action, this single action, really this revolver as a whole at this time period in Smith & Wesson is what gave Smith & Wesson their name. Really, I mean, it was, you had these guns really handcrafted. We are pre-lock here, so you don't have any sort of a Hillary hole that can lock your revolver up. This is when times were good at Smith & Wesson. This revolver had little to no wear externally at all. I mean, it is just absolutely immaculate. I would give this bluing, quite frankly, like a 95 to 98%. If we're talking NRA grade bluing, even under the grips, there was absolutely no wear anywhere that I could see on the revolver. We got a little bit of wear on the chambers and the cylinder, but nothing major, and I did just shoot this revolver, which is why there's some wear around the forcing cone. But other than that, I mean, you're not even seeing an extreme amount of holster wear, and that is very rare on a Smith of this age. I am going to make this my main shooter, and I know a lot of you guys are cringing at the fact that I'm going to take such an incredible revolver and make it a frequent shooter at the range, but in this case, I'm not going to be abusing this gun, okay? I'm not going to be throwing it around at the range, but I am going to shoot it. Yes, this is a very valuable revolver right now, but we're not talking thousands and thousands of dollars here. I started the range day with 50 rounds of 357, and it was actually, now that I really think about it, I think it was the first time that I had ever put that many rounds of 357 downrange at all. I might have shot a cylinder before in my lifetime, but I've only shot 38s primarily. So shooting a whole box of 50 at 357 was pleasant in this end frame. It was not bad at all. It was a little snappy, but nothing major at all. The Pachmayr grips helped out extremely well. No issues ejecting any spent casings. And I also switched to 38 Special, which, oh my God, it was a joy to shoot 38 Special out of this freaking thing. It was like shooting a cap gun. It was so freaking cool. It was incredibly easy to keep tight groups with 38 Special out of this thing. And there was like negative recoil on the scale of things. And as I was talking to my great friend who's a really good reloader. And he was kind of filling me in on how easy it is to reload 38 and 357, and I've heard that many times in the past. In fact, I'm pretty sure still to this day, 38 Special is what actually a lot of people start reloading with, and kind of understanding how the process works. Even with a little single stage, you can definitely reload 38 Special. I also think this would be a great camp gun. You know, a little bit of bear protection. This could definitely get the job done with 357 Magnum and some lead hard cast bullets. So I am really excited to just kind of have this thing as just my all-around good wheel gun. I do want to get more of a modern revolver that I feel a little less bad about just throwing it around at the range, using it in like a chest rig or something like that. But with that being said, I really, really enjoy this revolver. I think it is just an excellent, excellent gun. This is why it is unhealthy to be working at a gun shop from a financial perspective, because, you know, you will be working there and all of a sudden this just comes in and somebody's like, yeah, that's all I want for it. That's all right. You know, I'm okay. Take it at that. And you're like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, sure. And you're like, all right. I mean, okay, cool. And that, again, my friends, we call gun shop fate. And that is also going to wrap up this first impressions video on this incredible Smith Model 28 Highway Patrolman. If you have any other questions about this revolver or anything else on the channel, please let me know down in the comment section below, and I will absolutely read it and try my hardest to get back to you. While you're down there, head up to the description for the ways to support the channel. And as always, stay tuned for more great content coming soon.